Okay, testing one, two, three. Testing one, two, three. Okay. About to get ready to play the little intro, and then we're gonna start with the show. Let's go. What's up, everyone? Happy New Year. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. So good to be back and celebrating another new year, 2026, everyone. So Thank you all who have been with us since the beginning and appreciate your support. Also, just to let you know, this channel has reached already 201 subscribers. So thank you, those who have subscribed to the channel. We appreciate your support. For those who don't know, I happen to be House Head Speaks, coming to you live from the Chi-Town, Chicago. And this is Transition Reveal Mini Mix Series. We do this every third Saturday, noon p.m. Central Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. So, two things. Today, we're going to be discussing and doing some demonstrations revolving beat matching, and there's a reason for that. That's number one. Number two, we won't be doing a mini mix. So that means for the entire hour, we're going to be discussing, we're going to be demonstrating, we're going to be going through nuances regarding beat matching. The reason why I decided to do this particular segment is because, well, two reasons. Number one, I always think that when it comes to beat matching, it should always be revised and addressed every single year. And the reason why I say that, because every year there's a DJ that comes out. Every year there's someone who wants to be a DJ. Every year there's someone who's right now in their little small studios or in their basement or in their little or in their apartment or even in their one bedroom that wants to learn the craft of DJing. So my thought process is that if you want to learn this craft, you got to start with the fundamentals. I always speak about the fundamentals because the fundamentals of DJ is like a foundation to a house. You cannot build a house without a foundation, and it has to be a solid foundation. That's the only reason. That's the only way that house is going to withstand whatever it comes to it, whether it's weather or what have you, or even when you're putting everything in the house to build, it has to sustain. It has to stand. So without that foundation, that house will not stand. That's the same as DJing. Without the fundamentals of DJing, you can't really think about being a DJ. And trust me, I have, through my years of DJing and through also my years of being in house music and underground dance music, and also being a person who does live streams on Twitch, I have seen a plethora of DJs who, by, if I can be honest and upfront, they can't beat match, to say they so. They have great track selection, but they don't know how to put those tracks together and beat match. And beat matching is like the one thing you should learn before you even touch decks. Period. Trust me, when I learned DJ and I learned how to beat match, it was drilled in me by certain fellow DJs who taught me, drilled that in me. If I messed up, I did it again. I had to do it again. If it was off, I had to do it again. It doesn't matter. They made sure that particular part of DJing was in me, to the point where anytime I play now, sometimes I have them in my head, making sure I don't mess up. Make sure that my beat matching is on point. And you can't do your transitions, or you're dropping on the run, or working on your EQs, or any of those things, unless you know how to beat match properly. So that's what we're going to discuss today, and we're going to demo as well. So first of all, I'm going to throw this new thing that I have, and I call it What Is. So here we go. We're going to start right here. So we're going to go back further a little bit. Here we go. Okay. what is beat matching? Yeah, beat matching is, like I said, it's one of the fundamentals you have to know when it comes to DJing. So we're gonna get to what is beat matching. So what it is, House that Speaks. Well, we're gonna go by what I research, but if you want my wording, my take on it, the way I experience, beat matching is pretty much taking two tracks and playing them simultaneously. Making sure that they sound one, they have to be on time and on beat, according to the BPMs, according to the phrasing, all those things. But I'm gonna read off what here about beat matching, and I have more, and all the rest of everything that I have regarding beat matching will be in the description box below. But what I'm gonna be doing going forward, I'm gonna whatever subject matter, I'm gonna make sure I let you know what it is, and I'm just gonna do a small segment of it so you can have that in mind right in front of you. Okay, beat matching is a core DJ skill in which you manually align the tempo, BPM, BPM means beats per minute, and timing of two tracks so their beats play in sync, enabling a smooth, seamless transition from one song to another. You see transition? You see that word transition? That means if you don't know how to beat match properly, you won't get the proper transition. Okay? In simple terms, you make sure the speed of both tracks is in the same. That means you have to make sure that both tracks have the same BPM. That means if the first track BPM is let's say 125, 126, that second track better be 125, 126. And I'm going to demonstrate so you can see and listen to what a train wreck sounds like. Yeah, we're going to go through that as well. Okay. Now, number two, the downbeats. Usually the kick drum on the one hit at the same time. Now, the phrase dropping on the one has that term. That means that before you get ready to play that second track, remember, you have to count as one, one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, 3, 4, 1. You got to drop it on that 1. You don't drop it on the 4. You always drop it on the 1. That's what that means. Okay. When done correctly, of course, the crowd goes, ah. But here's the thing. This is when you know that you're doing proper beat matching, and I'm going to read this probably twice. When done correctly, the crowd doesn't notice when one track ends and the next one begins. I say again, when done correctly, the crowd doesn't notice when one track ends and the next one begins. You want to make sure that your beat matching and your transitions is so flawless, you have the crowd thinking that's one long track instead of two separate tracks. And that's pretty much says it when it comes to beat matching. But like I said, we're definitely going to do a lot of demos regarding that. So now, I'm going to give you the tracks of the intros that I play. And they both Afro House. Okay, the first one was called Portsman by Izzy Irmez. I think that's spelled Yilmez. And then the second one was it's called Bitch Club. Yep, Bitch Club. And that's by the Dub Kids. So those are the two tracks that are playing. Now, this I'm gonna show you how I pretty much learn how to beat match. And this is mostly one of the most fundamental things that any new DJ can learn when it comes to beat matching. Now, let's see, here we go. Okay, so what I'm gonna do first is I'm going to have two tracks, and they're going to be the same track. As a matter of fact, the track is called Columbia Pasta by Slava Commandos, which is one of my favorite producers from New York. Shout out to him. Now I'm going to play these tracks simultaneously. Okay? And what you should be hearing is both tracks at the same time. Because I'm going to press the play button exactly the same time. Number one. Number two, I am going to make sure that both tracks has the same BPM, which is 124. And that's what I usually play when it comes to my Afro house now. That's number one. And number three, I'm going to move the crossfader from track one to track two to make certain that they still on beat. And as a matter of fact, I'm gonna make it stay to the middle. Now, and I'm also gonna be listening in on both tracks, just in case if one is slightly off than the other, I will be using my jogs to make my adjustments. Okay. Now, before I do that, I'm going to give you a little prepaid preparation on what you should be doing each time you get on the decks before you start playing. Number one, of course, load in the tracks. Number two, make sure you check the master tempo. Make sure the master tempo is on. Number three, make sure that your tempo is plus and minus 10. Now, since I play house and techno, I like to leave it at plus and minus 10. Now, I know if you're playing like hip hop, you can do 6, or if you're playing other forms of music, you can do plus and minus 6, or there's wide or whatever. But today, since we're going to be playing mostly house music, it's going to be plus and minus 10. Also, make sure the quantize button is on. Yes, I said that. Make sure the quantize button is on. So you can make sure that your tracks is quantized, so you don't have to worry about being slightly off. It will be off as you play, but you'll be able to make minor adjustments instead of major adjustments. That's that. And okay, and last but certainly not least, make sure the sync button is not on. Yes, I said it. Do not turn the sync button on. Okay? You're learning how to DJ, and you're learning by ear. You can learn by ear, and also you can watch the waveforms at the same time. And that's another thing I want to say. I know there's certain DJs that's going to come at me talking about, well, you're supposed to just learn it by ear. You don't have to learn it with the waveforms. You're supposed to cover the waveforms. Forget that. Okay? This is 2026. Okay? Everything evolves each time. The equipment evolves, the hardware evolves, the software evolves. That means the way we approach DJing should evolve as well. So yes, I will say there's nothing wrong looking at the waveform and listening to the tracks by ear at the same time, so you can know where you can make your adjustments and if your adjustments is where it's supposed to be. So I hope I didn't ruffle any feathers after I said that, but if I did, okay, this is my channel. I can say what I want to say. So anyway, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna turn the volume down, and I'm gonna go ahead and, as a matter of fact, let's go ahead and move to here so you can see. Yep, you see me with my Opus Quad. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn the volume down, and then I'm gonna play both tracks simultaneously, so you can listen to what you should be hearing is both tracks playing at the same time in time and beat. Now, like I said, if I hear that's going to be off a bit, I will be making my adjustments. I'll show you what I mean. Let's go. Okay. Now, did you saw what I did? Now, as I was letting the track play, as you saw, I moved the crossfader from track 1 to track 2. And I don't know if you was listening to it because I was listening to the same thing. I made sure that both tracks were still on time, still on beat, and you can barely hear, you can barely notice that I played both tracks at the same time. It was as though I only played one track. That's the secret sauce of beat matching. Getting the crowd thinking that you're playing one long track instead of the simple fact that you're playing two tracks at the same time. Okay? So, now we're gonna go with another track because of YouTube purposes. I don't want to play the same track over again. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and use the same track. Okay. This time I'm gonna be using a track called "Destination Lost" by Rodriguez Jr. And that's gonna be both tracks. So I'm gonna make sure I got the BPM at 124. Hope everybody hear me. Okay. Yep. Just make sure that I'm setting it up for 124. Now, I'm going to play this simultaneously again, but I'm going to purposely move the jog slightly on track 2 so you can actually hear what it sounds like when those two tracks are not in not in time and not in beat. We call that train wrecking. And trust me, you don't want to do that during a set. You don't want to do that when you're playing live, and you damn sure don't want to do it, when you're playing live stream, and you damn sure don't want to do it when you're playing live in front of a crowd. Because the moment you do that, that dance floor will scatter. The moment you do that, the people who's listening in and checking you out, they're gonna leave. Why? Because trust and believe. People out there know about DJing, whether you don't think so or not. They are very knowledgeable. Now, me on a personal level, I've been in this thing for going on 7 decades now. 7. I was 18 when I started into house music. I'll be 61 next month. So that's how long my tenure is when it comes to this particular genre of music. I have heard and seen mostly every DJ that's been out there, whether they've been live stream or I've seen them live in person. I have played out myself. So I know, and I also was a blogger, which means I was able to visit different venues and listen to different DJs and have met them and meet them and greet them, the whole 9 yards. So I am aware of how a DJ's movement's supposed to be, how their nuance is supposed to be, and no matter what genre they're playing, how they supposed to have play and what I supposed to be listening for. So that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna turn the volume down again. I'm gonna play these simultaneously, and again, I'm going to move the jog wheel on track 2 slightly. I don't know if we're gonna do it counterclockwise or clockwise. I'm just gonna move it slightly, and when I move it slightly, I'm going to move the crossfader. Since I do mix with a crossfader, I'm gonna use a crossfader from track 1 to track 2, and probably may stay in the middle. If I stay in the middle, then you're really gonna hear that track 2 is definitely gonna be off. Now I'm gonna let that play so it can be off, and then I'm going to make the adjustments so I can get it back on time and on beat. So without further ado, let's go. You hear that? That's the train wrecking I'm telling you about. Which means that track 2 is off. So now I'm going to make my adjustments to the jog wheel as I move the crossfader over to the middle. Now I'm at the middle. And did you hear the difference? Now both tracks are both on time and on beat. I'm still playing with both tracks, but you heard what I did before. Okay, I hope everybody heard exactly what I said. hope everybody heard that. Now, I actually purposely, yep, actually and purposely move track track 2 slightly. Well, I did it slightly and then I did it a little more than I should. And then when I made my adjustments, I made my adjustments on the wrong end, and that happens. So long as when I heard that I was going a little too off, then I knew I had to go the other direction. And that's where the listening and playing by ear goes. That's where that comes to play. Okay? You still have to, even though you may have the waveforms, you think the waveforms is right where it's supposed to be, you still have to listen to the track, because the waveforms and the sound can be deceiving. So as long as you're listening, and yes, I learned this from another DJ, and shout out to him. As long as you can listen to, because you have to listen on your headphones where you should be off. And also when you're playing out in the crowd, you need to take your headphones off so you can make sure what you're listening to is the same as what the crowd is listening to. And when you know that both of y'all is in sync, then you know that you have a good session going. Now, okay, how I'm going to do this. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this again. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to I'm not going to play the both tracks at the same time. In fact, I'm going to go to I'm going to go and choose another track so you can know, so you can really show you, and I'm going to go through the actual motions of making sure that you're playing with time and with beat. So I'm going to show you how I usually play. So I used that one already. Let me use another one. Let's see will that work. Yeah. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to go through the motions of how I do my beat match and my transition. So this is how I'm going to do. I'm going to play the first track, which is Wingbow by Master A. And then I'm going to play this. Then I'm going to mix it with the second track called TV by Alamy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the first track, and then I'm going to go through the motions as I get ready to, and I'm going to play the first track. Then I'm going to start the second track by dropping it on the 1. Then when I drop it on the 1, then I'm going to make my adjustments, work on my EQs, and then you're going to hear, the beat matching process. So let me turn this down. Make sure that BPMs is the same, which they are. And here we go. Now, I hope you were able to see what I did and listen to what I was doing. Okay, like I said, I started with track one, then I dropped it on the one for when I play in track two. Then of course I did my adjustments with the EQs, and then I moved the crossfader over so you can hear both tracks. And then as I made more adjustments and worked on the EQs, then you was able to hear how harmonious the both tracks came. Instead of you hearing two separate tracks, you heard one particular track. And that's the key to beat matching. Make certain that whoever's listening have the perception that they're listening to one track instead of listening to two tracks. Now, trust me, this process is not easy, and there's no such thing as, oh, I'm going to master. You will not. It takes time and it takes years. Even the best known DJs in the world haven't mastered this because it's so many layers and nuances that's there that trying to say that you know all of it, no, you won't. And also remember, each DJ approach their beat matching differently. One DJ won't beat match the same as another DJ. You know, like for instance, I won't beat match the same as I'm gonna throw a name out there as a T Mixwell. She's from Chicago. She's a DJ and producer. Okay, so by me knowing that, I have you and I want my young and upcoming DJs who's really learning this to get this and understand this. When you learn how to beat match, you make sure you learn to the point where you feel comfortable of using the way you learn, using it the way you learn it. And also, if there's new adjustments or new additions that you want to add to it, you have that comfort zone to add to it. For instance, when I started playing, I only used the up faders. I never, ever used the crossfader. Until I got with a couple of DJs whose crew I was part of, and I saw how they was mixing with just the crossfader. And of course, you know, back in the day, there was no up faders on mixers. You only had the crossfader. So I looked at it as, okay, they're taking an old school adage and just throwing it into today's mix, today's nuances when it comes to transition. Okay, I can deal with that. So what I did was I practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced until I until I gained the muscle memory long enough. Now I only play with the crossfader. I only do my transitions with the crossfader. I don't use the up faders at all. Now I know some DJs, who probably still up faders may not be cool with that, but that's okay. I mix the way I'm comfortable with. And that's what it is. Do it the way it feels comfortable to you. Why? Because if it feels comfortable to you, then you know you're going to do it right. If you're trying to do it because somebody else said that you may not be doing it right, and you might learn the way they do it, it may not be comfortable for you. And especially when you took the time of learning it a certain way, and now you listen to somebody tell you to switch things up, and then you try to switch things up, then you're not going to feel comfortable. And then that means your beat matching will be off. Your transitions will be off. Why? Because your muscle memory said, I'm not digging this. This is not for us. Let's get back to what we was doing before. Now, like I said before, you can you can transition from up faders to crossfader. That's if you want to. But of course, that takes another practice and things of that nature, and which I did, and now I am comfortable playing on any kind of decks using just the crossfader. So I just want my young and upcoming DJs and just to keep it in mind. There's nothing wrong with adding what you learn. But again, make sure that the addition still fits to your style and the way you approach your transition. Because if it doesn't, then don't do it. You know, because trust me, if I did not feel or thought that mixing or doing my transitions or beat matching using a crossfader will be beneficial or will be comfortable for me, I would have pretty much gave it up some time ago. But since I understood the approach of it, and then as I practiced, I got adjusted to it. I'm able to do it. You know. Now we're going to jump since we did some good old what I'm about to say good old sorry my brain is just not there today. I don't know why. But anyway, anywho, we're gonna jump into Jacking House because I want you to know that when you learn how to beat match, you really. But here's another thing. I'm sorry. Before I get into a tangent, before I say anything else, and because I'm gonna show you how, I'm gonna tell you how I learned. When I learned how to beat match, I learned from one genre at a time. And I believe I started with you know what, I think I started with just straight house, and then I progressed to jacking, I progressed to afro, I progressed to the other subgenres of house music, and then after I got there, I went to techno, and then I went to organic, progressive, and melodic. Then I went to disco. Then I went to new disco. Then I went to funky house. Then I went to deep house, and then I went to UK garage. So what you're listening and what I'm saying is that when you learn how to beat match for the first time, don't try to jump from one genre to the next genre. Learn to beat match one genre at a time until you are proficient with that particular genre. When you know that you're proficient with that genre, then you can jump to the next genre. And then when you get proficient with that genre, then you can jump to the next genre. Okay? And don't let people tell you that, you know, you have to beat match or do your transitions to, let's say, techno different than you have to do with house. You don't. I'm a witness to that. I use the same approach playing house music, then playing techno or tech house as I do playing house music. Okay? Just want you to know that. So, we're going to find us a Jack and House track. I want to make sure we get some new ones. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is, with Jacking House, instead of going to 124, we're going to go to 125 BPM. Why? Because I like playing my Jacking House at 125. And that's another thing with BPMs. BPMs, you can adjust your BPMs. I always try to adjust my BPMs according to the genre. Now, like I said, if I'm playing Afro or deep or disco, new disco, what I'm about to say, or soulful, I stick at 124. If I'm doing jacking, I'll do 125. If I go tech house, I'll go from 126 to 128. If I do techno, I'm going to go 120, probably 128 to 130. Now, when it comes to the down tempos like melodic and progressive and organic, I try to hit the 124, 123 range. Sometimes I'll drop down to 122, especially if I'm playing either melodic or organic. I'll try to those two genres. I'll hit the 122 BPM range. But like I said, we're going to in fact, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go through the instead of doing this at the same playing two tracks at the same time. We're gonna go through I'm gonna go through the emotions of how I do my mixing, especially when it comes to Jack and House. So, first track is called um, Karlova, and that's by SOG, that same old guy. And I'm gonna be mixing it with Sexiest Man in Jamaica. Interesting. By D New. So I'm gonna turn my volume down and let's get to it.
The lure of the animal.
It's just that I have this power.
Yes, come on, come.
That was fun. That's why I love playing Jack and House because Jack and House is a fun genre to play in. Now I hope you got the gist of how I was doing the mixing. Now even though dropped the when I dropped the track on the one, I probably was off a little bit, and that's why you listen by ear to make those adjustments so you can get the track back on time and beat, and you always want to do that before you move your either your up faders or your cross fader. You always want to make sure everything is time and beat before you move those two faders. And then when you have to make adjustments around about the mid time, then you can make your adjustments, but it won't sound like you're way off. So keep that in mind, okay? Now, I'm going to jump again, and we're going to, yeah, we're gonna do some techno, so I can show you how I beat match with techno, and also to let you know that when you're doing techno, you know, it's no different than when you're doing like a house genre. Ooh, that didn't. Let's see. Okay, cool. Now, what I'm gonna do is, first of all, I'm going to move the BPM to 28. We're gonna do 128. 128. And that's gonna be 128 on both. 128 on both. Okay. Okay. Now, first one is called fertility. The first track is gonna call fertility. I can't really pronounce the name of the producer, but I'm going to spell it is Veruah. Okay, and then the second track that I'm going to be mixing to is called No Humans, and that's going to be by Thomas, and the last name is spelled L. I think it's LLORCA. So I'm going to drop my volume down, but like I said, I'm going to approach this because even though it's techno, doesn't mean that I'm going to not approach it the same way as I approach, say, a house track or say the jacking track that I did earlier. I'm going to approach it the same way. So let me turn down the volume. Let's go. Sorry, I had to play this. I had to play these two tracks kind of quickly because I played this already on a techno ray train that I did, and I began with these two tracks. Did not notice that until now. Sorry. Oh, okay. We got 3 more minutes. So I'm going to throw one last track, last couple tracks, and we're gonna get, yeah, we're gonna go deep. Let's go deep, people. Let's go deep. So now, I hope everybody got what I was talking about. In fact, you know what? Let's stop it here. Yeah, we can stop it here. I'm not gonna stop it. Yeah, we're gonna stop it here. We'll get back to here. I hope everybody pretty much got the gist of what I was trying to present to you regarding beat matching, because you have to know it. If you want to be a DJ, you have to know it and you have to learn it. And the only way you're going to get good at it is approach it and practice. You have to practice. Trust me, it's repetition, repetition, repetition. That's the only way you're going to get the muscle memory in your ear, the muscle memory in your eyes, and the muscle memory on the in your hands and your arms when you're doing when you're practicing, when you're doing the decks. You're gonna have to practice, 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 practice. Because when you learn it, when you know it, you can play on any decks, no matter if it's something what I have, which is the Opus Quad, to the to the DD to the D to the CDJ 3000X that's out with the either the A9 mixer or the V10 mixer. That when you can get to the fact that get to that point where you are comfortable to play one of the most innovative DJ systems that's out there, you are golden. But in order for you to get to that point, you have to start from zero, which means you have to start from scratch. And beat matching is where you start from scratch. In fact, if you don't know how to beat match, you don't know how to DJ. I'm going to say this again. If you don't know how to beat match, you don't know how to DJ. Again, the analogy that I used earlier about the foundation when it comes to a house, you can't build a house on sand because the whole house is going to crumble down. It won't sustain for years and years and years. It just won't. No matter how it will not do that. That's the same thing when it comes to beat matching. You won't be able to know anything else. You won't be able to drop it on the one. You won't be able to make your transitions. You won't be able to adjust your EQs. You won't know how to do any of those things without beat matching. This is one particular fundamental you cannot afford to skip, ladies and gentlemen. You just can't. So, I appreciate everybody coming in. Thank you so much. Like I said, we do this every third Saturday. Now, next month, I'll be doing a early transition series on the 14th of February. The reason being, that third Saturday, I will be out of town. So I just want to let you know. So I'll be posting flyers and information on that transitions. But again, thank you for my subscribers for subscribing to this channel. I appreciate your support. And if you're new to the channel, please like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you will know when I'm doing another transition, which again, I'll be doing one on the 14th of February, noon Central Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. This is House That Speaks. Wishing y'all a happy 2026. May all your goals be met. If you're trying to be if you're talking about being a DJ, just do it. If you're thinking about becoming a producer, just do it. Make this the year of no excuses, on your goals. You do them, you make them, and you achieve them. Peace and love to all, everyone.